There was this girl at my job whom I had grown fond of. She was sweet, pretty, and a good worker. Even though I liked her, sometimes I would have trouble talking to her. I wanted to become more comfortable while talking to her. So I started thinking about how I could achieve this. Then an idea came to me. I could try to get her to laugh. Humor is a great way to connect with people. So I continued thinking, brainstorming on ways to get her to laugh, or at least smile. So what is something that people find funny? I thought to myself, oh, right, farting. Everyone thinks farting is funny, from its sound to the mystery of whom actually did it. So simple and effective, and that was the plan. The next day, I went to my job filled with confidence and optimism. Immediately after entering the building, I began searching for her. I soon found her and walked straight towards her location, ready to succeed in my mission. As I reached her, I waved and smiled, and she did the same. So far, so good, I thought to myself. Our initial dialogue included the usual insignificant things. Hey, how's it going? How was your weekend? So on and so forth. This is where our conversations would normally end, but alas, not this time. At first, an awkward silence, as we both stood next to each other. I believe she thought the encounter had concluded already, so she remained quiet while I was preparing my next move, but I needed to concentrate, so I stood in silence as well. And then it happened. I farted. Success! I let out a huge sigh of relief, as I was concerned that I was not going to be able to let out one loud enough to be heard. I chose not to look at her, as I stood there in silence with my eyes closed and grinning, waiting for her response. You see, all I was waiting for was a response of any kind. But nothing happened. I took a quick look at her, and she remained still, unwavered and undaunted by what I just did. I then looked away from her and stared at the ground. I was suddenly filled with confusion and puzzlement. Seeing nothing else was going to occur, I told her goodbye and left. Needless to say, things did not work out the way I wanted them to on that day, and our relationship has not been the same, or dare I say, has not recovered from this incident.
There was this guy at my job whom I was on friendly terms with. There was nothing special or intimate between the two of us, but I did like him on a work level. Everything between us was fine, until one day we had a strange encounter. As I mentioned before, we had a good work relationship. We worked on the same days and saw each other on each one of those days. We would say hi and things were really good between us. But then the strange encounter occurred which up to this day continues to impact our relationship. So I was standing at my workstation and he approached me. We said the usual things. Hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Now, this is when the conversation would usually end. However, something else would occur on that fateful day. Initially, there was an awkward silence since I did not have anything else to say, and I thought the conversation was over. Meanwhile, he just stood there in silence. It seemed to me that he might have something else to say, so I gave him the opportunity by remaining silent. And then it happened. He farted. Now, I'm not one of those girls who makes a big deal about a guy farting, and I did not want to embarrass him, so I did not react in any way. I just pretended like nothing happened. Eventually he said bye and walked away. I had an uneasy feeling after this encounter, besides the smell as he was walking away. And up until this day, our relationship has not been the same.